Hello, E39 source. This is Andrew Matera coming from the middle of the beginning of the coronavirus epidemic of 2020. This is an introduction to my 1997 BMW 540 automatic. Now, these wheels are not original to it. These are the 17-inch wheels from a 1999 Sport. My father actually has a 99 Sport Touring, and these were his winter wheels. That car is, the engine blew up. The time machine guides went, and he just drove it the way it was. Quite unfortunate. My future plans are to manual swap it because the automatic that's in there right now is pretty toasty. I have a guy in South Jersey that'll do it for me for $3,500. I want to do the full M5 exterior package. I've already ordered mirrors and the bumper, and you'll notice my headlights are flashing. That's because I have LED high beams, because I'm 20 years old and I have nothing better to do with my money. I don't know how it's going to come across on camera, but you'll notice that mirror is a darker shade than that one, and that would be because I hit a deer when I first got the car, like I think the first week, because I was fiddling with the BC controls. I'm an immature 20-year-old. I didn't see a deer coming, and you can see there are a few dents on that side, a few dings, and it ultimately knocked off the mirror. So I got the mirror from a junkyard car. I think it was midnight blue. It's the same color as my father's wagon. I just had it repainted, and I couldn't get, of course, because it's a rare color, I couldn't get BMW Cashmere Beige Metallic at the time. So I used Toyota Cashmere Beige Metallic. And you can see right here, this is how I got it. Now, my father bought this in 2017 with 100,900 miles on it. And it's pretty much in the exact same condition as you see it, minus the wheels. It had the original 16s on it, but they were ovals. I don't know how they held air at the time. And one of the things I also want to do is I would love to facelift this car. Personally, I don't like the original headlights. These aren't actually the originals. I replaced these last year because the adjusters were so screwed up. One of them was bouncing around when you'd go over potholes, and the other one was all the way down. So maybe I'll include a video there, because if you open the hood, you'd be able to pull the entire lens off without unclipping a single thing. These are actually depot replacements. These aren't the original Hellas, which it's kind of unfortunate that I couldn't get the originals, but it is what it is. The thing is about the facelift, I've seen everybody do the clear turn signals, and the facelift tail lights have the clear turn signals, and I don't know, that doesn't appeal to me. I like the amber. I'm not aware I'm actively outing myself as a masochist for saying that I like the amber, but I do. I don't mind it. That door handle, actually, amazingly enough, that's not original. That broke off, and it's a plastic replacement from Euro Auto Parts, which I really don't recommend for anything. Those guys are absolutely terrible sometimes. And it's painted in from the same can as that mirror over there. This is the M62 B44. This is before the technical update. This is not the M60. This is a very good engine. It's a high revving engine, decently high revving, not as high revving as the S62, which, if I come across one for a good deal and I have the time and a spare car in the future, you can bet one of them will end up in that engine bay. Yeah, this fender is really atrocious. I have a new one in my attic, but it's silver. I'm working on locating the right paint so that it's not terribly off. Because when I put the M5 mirrors and the new fender and the new bumper on this thing, I don't want it to look like garbage. This is a very clean car. It doesn't have much rust, which is amazing for a Northeast car. Altogether, it's not a bad car. I just did the control arms, the front control arms. Those are all new. I really should do the transmission mounts and the engine mounts too. Those are shot. There are a lot of things that I should do, and I will be documenting a lot of it when I go through. As for the current modifications that I do have on the vehicle, never mind my coding laptop here. I need new door cord. This happened while I was moving, actually. Funny story. Turns out you can get an IKEA dresser in here straight across perfectly, but you might have a few nicks and scratches on your door cards, so I wouldn't recommend it. But one of the modifications that I did was one that I actually took a lot of inspiration from Ryan Schultz. I went out and I got the E38 illuminated door handles, and I did that myself. And being a handy person with soldering, that was actually very easy. I'd love to get the I think it's called the shadow line trim, the black sport trim. A lot of these E39s have it, and my father's touring has it, and I would take it off of that if it weren't a touring. If it were a sedan, it would already have been gone. I have already done an M5 cluster conversion, and it all works. No, I don't want the sport steering wheel. I like my heated steering wheel just fine. And another inspiration from Ryan Schultz, I did the rear fog light retrofit. I want to do PDC, but I don't want to get rid of this trim panel because I like the stroll wheels. I don't know if there's any way to get PDC and retain that. I know my father's car has PDC, this pre-facelift, but it doesn't have the button for PDC. It just has the DSC button, which, yes, that's still ASC. I have a blue bus ordered, thank you. We're taking orders at the beginning of March, and I managed to order mine right as the email came out, just by pure chance. It was 5 minutes after the email was sent. But until then, I have this really cheap cassette tape adapter that I've built myself. I actually, I built this adapter for a 2002 Chevy Suburban. That's why the cord is bundled up like that, because it's 12 feet long. Yeah, it does not have the sport seats. They're really beat up for what it's got. I would like to get the E38 18-way power seats, because ever since I saw the Doug DeMuro video on the 750 IL, I thought those were the coolest things I'd ever seen. I'm a little worried about the blue bus that I ordered, because I didn't ask for the telephone module or connector or whatever. I don't have a TCM. I'm pre-wired for a TCM. As you can see, I have the tel buttons, but they don't do anything, especially not these guys. And yeah, at one point, the previous owner had installed a really nasty, I'll see if I could put a picture of that in there. Oh, that thing was nasty. But it was a cradle. And the only reason I know this is because I attempted to put in a Lithuanian LCM 3B, and my turn signals didn't work. So yeah, I might need the facelift taillights for that. Oh well, really, they didn't even light up. It didn't even light up on the dash like this. It didn't do any of that. It was very bizarre. I like this car. I hope you like this car. And my bank account really hates this car.